Hello and welcome to the Blue Shadow Podcast. My name is Joey,
My name is Dan.
and today we are so excited to talk about the surprise announcement coming to us this May 4th, and that is Tales of the Underworld. Dan, were you expecting this?
No, I wasn't. It caught me completely off guard. However, looking back on it, we should have expected it.
We should have expected something for May 4th. I honestly, like, we knew we were getting another season of Visions. It's
Hmm.
coming after Celebration. I was really thinking that we were just going to get the third season of Visions because that was a May 4th thing.
Hmm.
And it's a every other it has been an every other year thing, but I'm
Yeah,
so excited. I generally prefer these to Visions, so I'm very excited about this.
me too. So do we just want to jump right into it?
Yeah, I like this isn't even one that I would have picked. Like this would not, if you gave me a pen and paper and said write down your top five choices. I think we literally did this in one of our first episodes. This is
Yeah,
not one that I would have picked, but wow, am I excited about it.
I know. And you called it. You said that we'd be seeing Ventress again
I
pretty
had
soon.
to. You had to have. And I thought it was going to be a whole show, which makes you wonder what's coming next for the animation department. But I think this is a great way to kind of dive into her more.
Me too.
So the choices there, there's trailers, cool poster. The choices are Cad Bane, or the characters that we're following are Cad Bane and Asajj Ventress. And I think their parallels are going to be navigating the underworld as kind of bounty hunters. And what I imagine, at least for Ventress, is between like after Revenge of the Sith, kind of probably Bad Batch time. I'm not sure about Cad Bane. It kind of seems like an
I think
origin story.
I think so. And I think what we're gonna see are these two um paths that are directly opposing each other. And we're going to see Cad Bane have this really good start to life and then go into the underworld and slowly, become the villain. Where we'll see Ventress have this really hard childhood and then come out the other side as the hero.
It's honestly seeming like paralleling the Ahsoka and Dooku season
Yes.
or whatever season. Is that what you call it? Sure,
Or yeah,
limited,
whatever.
whatever. You get the point. I I think this characters. I just think they picked two of the coolest characters they could have here. Like
They did.
Ventress is awesome. Cad Bane is awesome. I will never get enough of either of those characters.
And you can't go wrong. Those are two generally well received characters.
But
Um,
also with limited backstory too.
yeah.
I mean, I guess
So
Ventress doesn't
go
have
ahead.
limited back. Ventress doesn't have a super limited backstory, but has a limited backstory in this era that we're seeing her in.
Yes.
Anyway, go ahead to your question.
So in the trailer, we saw Ventress with an apprentice.
Yes,
Who do you think it is? I saw theories online.
I saw theories too. My hope is no one that we know, but I my favorite theory I've seen is Jod from
I've
Skeleton
seen
Crew.
that too.
Is that
I
is
know.
that the one you were
Yeah.
most excited about?
Yeah. I love Skeleton Crew. Yeah, if you guys have been listening to us, you know how much I really like that show.
I haven't thought about Skeleton Crew in a little while. I feel like I should be though.
But that'd be good on rewatch.
Yeah, I think I struggled with Skeleton Crew, not like a lot, but
Hmm.
struggled to like really get attached. And I think by the time I got attached, it was like over. So I think a rewatch would
Yeah,
do well there.
I agree.
I What do you think about the concept of a Padawan, Jod or not? Like, do you like the idea of Ventress taking on someone like this?
I do, because I think what we saw at the end of Bad Batch was she really kind of flourished with Omega.
Hmm.
And you can kind of see her being like, okay, I can see myself doing this and trying to help those who are under persecution.
Hmm. I think that sounds fantastic. And then seeing another Inquisitor is always, I assume, Inquisitor, but
Probably.
always very cool. I just really love the flexibility of the stories that can be told in this format.
Right, because they can do anything.
They can, and I'm happy if this is an annual thing. Like I would say, like if in a 4 year span we only got two of them, I feel like it's so slow. But like if we get them once a year on May the 4th, I think that's fantastic.
Right, and there's so many different avenues you can go down in Star Wars. You could do Tales of the Senate. You could get a Mothma one.
Mhm. I guess balancing what I want to be its own TV show and what I want to be one of these would be tricky. I think that's kind of why I like it being some odd choices. Like I thought Morgan Elspeth was a very strange choice last time, but I thought it was
I,
really good.
I did too.
And I feel the same way about kind of about both of these characters, really. Ventress, it makes sense given the appearance of the Bad Batch, but Cad Bane, I never wondered how Cad Bane came to be, if this truly is an origin story.
Yeah, me neither.
But I'm really excited to find out. I wanted to also point out, we talk about it every time there's a Star Wars animation that we are reviewing, but it looks so good, and every time it just looks so much better. Like it's
Hmm.
like if you go back and watch the first episodes of the Clone Wars, they look like plastic pieces. This is like I mean, every time I say I can't imagine it getting any better, and then it seems like it does.
Hmm.
It's just kind of breathtaking.
Yeah.
Is there
I'm
anything? Go ahead, go ahead.
now I'm very excited. I want to see Cad Bane. I love a good villain origin story.
And such a cool character, and we kind of know how his story ends, so it'll be nice to have a bookend.
Hmm.
Um, is there anything you're hoping to see in either of these character stories throughout this Tales of the Underworld?
Yes. You probably know of the scrapped Cad Bane Boba Fett duel.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Have you seen the animatic?
I have.
It
So
would be so
recently,
good.
especially now that they can redo it or even do it in a new way.
I think that could have been in the book of Boba Fett. I think like they keep giving us things where it could appear, and I think that would be fantastic.
And I feel like it's an easy way for them to do it. They don't have to do too much on it.
Uh-huh. And it's why the dent's in the helmet.
Hmm.
For me, I really want to see why. Like, I hope that this will answer the question why Ventress is back. If you recall, there's a book called Dark Disciple where
Hmm.
she dies and is like put to rest on Dathomir. And I know the whole Night Sisters whole thing is like necromancy and stuff like that, but I want to know why she's here and like how she got to a point where she want and she kind of ended acting like a good guy kind of in that book.
Hmm.
But I want to know how she ended up here and how her mindset kind of shifted to be what you would largely consider to be a good guy.
Yeah. Something happened.
Something
What,
happened. This seems like a great place to put it.
right? And they can do it with so little backstory.
Hmm. I'm just this I was so excited. We usually know so much about all the Star Wars stuff and what's coming and all of that. I think this is such a nice surprise, totally under the radar, and it just was there.
Hmm.
May the 4th is very almost a month away, so we're
A
almost
month
there.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I want to leave you on another note. Let's say Dan was just put in charge, and I'll give my answer too, and I can go first if you want because I'm throwing Dan on the spot. If Dan's put in charge of Lucasfilm Animation, and you said May 4th, 2026, we need another Tales of.
Tales of the Senate.
Okay,
I
wow,
I love the politics stuff.
very relevant in today's
And it
society.
and it doesn't have to be Mon Mothma. I said that to get a reaction.
I love Mothma. Who would you
I know you
pick?
do. I'd pick somebody new.
New.
Honestly, you know who I'd pick? I'd pick the ET guys from
Oh dear
Phantom
God.
Menace.
That's the most Dan answer. How, that is the most Dan answer I've ever heard in my entire life.
No, okay, so who would I realistically pick? I would, so in my perfect world, I would do it pre Galactic Civil War with a senator from the soon-to-be separatists and a senator from the Republic, and we can see the dichotomy of what's going on.
Oh, that's good. That is really good. That sounds like it
Because
should almost be its own show.
then you don't need new characters. You can just kind of pick.
Hmm.
These are all new characters that you can kind of see why the separatists are seceding.
Hmm. And I feel like when they do paint that picture, which is not that often, you generally are like, that's a good point.
Wasn't Mothma from a separatist?
I don't think Chandrila was.
I thought she was. I thought they mentioned it in Andor.
Hang on. Let's Google it. No, Chantrilla was not a separatist planet. Cassian was a separatist.
That makes sense.
So that I but yes, like that I think like Cathian. Oof, I sound like Mike Tyson. Cassian is a great example of someone who never switched sides. He went from the separatist to the rebellion. It's fighting for the same thing, kind of.
Yes, but Mothma um is in this thing called the Separatist Coalition.
Oh, was that the thing with like Padme and like
Separatist Coalition was active during the region of Galactic Empire, reign of the Galactic Empire, with Mon Mothma a part of it and attended meetings. Um,
was
yeah,
she a separatist?
I think she was.
Maybe she was and Chandrilla wasn't.
I don't know,
Hmm.
or it could be some reconstruction committee. Who knows? But
I don't know.
that's what I would do.
Yes, I think that's great. You want to hear mine?
I do.
So I would call this one, and you're gonna be like, oh, you're skirting around calling it Tales of the Jedi too. I would call this Tales of the Skywalkers, which you're like, that's the whole story. But the story I want to see, Tales of whatever, you can call it whatever you want. I want to see a story of Anakin and Leia's training, particularly in those blind spots where you don't see Anakin between age like 10 and like 18 or whatever, 21, whatever the age gap between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones is. So I'd love to see more of Anakin's early training and how that
Hmm.
could potentially parallel Leia's training, and where maybe they both experience a certain event where like Leia's like, all right, I had enough. I have to step away from this. Where Anakin doesn't really have that luxury.
Yeah.
And I think like, I'm always going to navigate or like be magnetically attracted to the Jedi, but I would love to see more about Leia's Jedi training, and I want it to be on screen. I don't want it to be a comic or a book. So I think if they're not going to do a whole show about it, I think this would be a great, great, great way to do it.
Yeah. That, or I know you said Anakin and Leia, but what about a Ben Solo Leia?
See, I didn't pick that one solely for the fact that I want that to be the next major animated show, like Rebels,
Fair enough.
Clone Wars, Bad Batch level. I want it to be Luke's Jedi Temple. You get Mark Hamill to voice. You can bring Adam Driver if he's willing. He's in Bob's Burgers one or two episodes.
I'm sure he'd be willing. I'm sure the mouse has Adam Driver roped into something.
Listen, I want the mouse to bring Adam Driver back in the Ray movie.
Could
Cut
be a
the
Force
check.
Ghost.
Or Resurrection.
Just throw him in a droid. How
Oh my
funny that would
God.
be. No, seriously though, do you know how funny that would be if there's just a droid with Kylo Ren's voice?
With the voice modulation.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And
Well,
the whole time it's like, is it Kylo? No, that's Steve.
STVE.
33V.
Oh my God. I love it. Oh man. Well, anything else to add about Tales of the Underworld, Dan?
No, I'm excited for when it comes out. It's going to be a busy, little hectic time for us, but we'll get
Yeah,
it done.
we just if you are following us at all, we upcoming have Andor, which is releasing 3 episodes at a time for some ungodly reason. Um, The Last of Us season 2, this, and all the stuff from Star Wars Celebration that will inevitably come out. So we're gonna be busy, but it's gonna be all good stuff.
Stay tuned.
I feel like we between Skeleton Crew and this, we've had like nothing,
Yeah.
and
No,
now
it's
it's
been,
all gonna come at once.
yeah,
Like I
it's
think
okay.
we haven't really talked about this. We'll probably talk about it, maybe a little more. We're having a little on-air business meeting, but The Last of Us might end up being like a one episode thing about the whole season since Andor's so prevalent.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or maybe a few episodes time. Anyway, that's for us to decide. You can enjoy that later.
Yes.
With that, real quick, Tales of the Underworld, very exciting, such a great surprise. But with that, we thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed. Please consider giving us a like, subscription, comment on YouTube or on, I'm so sorry, on YouTube or on the podcast platform of your choice. Or consider giving us a follow on Twitter, X at Blue Shadow Pod, or on Instagram at Blue Shadow Podcast. And with that, we thank you so much for your time. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. Thank you.